So the eye that is smaller, um, needs to be scooted towards the nose more. They're too far apart.
Mhm.
And I realized that there's a little bit of skin in between the eye and the edge of the face, and I didn't leave any of that.
Oh, interesting.
And her nose looks, I mean, sorry, her ear looks like it's coming off of the side of her neck instead of the side of her jaw.
Well, that's good. But I'll tell you the main thing you missed, because there's none of those things. Let me show you. Let me see if I can like sort of zoom up here a little bit. I'm going to zoom up just a little bit. Here's the main thing you mix. It's a little hard to see, so I'm going to sketch on here. So here's her neck, and you're right. Ear comes in, right? Like that.
Mhm.
Look at where her chin is versus where her neck stops in the back. That's
Oh,
why she looks so chunky.
okay.
Right? Like, so if I
Yeah.
can, and why this looks too long. So really this should be, so you're right. The ear should come in here. Good job though, but really good. See how that changes and slenderizes her a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then even a little bit
Okay.
more. Yep.
Okay.
Look at what that does just right there. I actually don't really have a problem with the nose. And I agree with you. The
Not
ear
with the
needs
nose, the eyes and the ear.
the eyes and so you feel
Eyes are
the
too far
eye.
apart.
I don't think they maybe they are. Let's check. I was just going to check that. Um, so there should be so this eye in full, if I came over here, lands about here, right? So
Yeah.
if I come here, nope, it's just fine.
Really?
Yes. So that's the thing that's
Oh.
good to keep. Really, it was this.
Okay.
That was huge, right?
Yeah.
That really threw everything kind of off. Um, this is actually pretty good. And your mouth shape, really the mouth. So there's a couple of things. I mean, I want to say first, I really think this is a good effort. Lips, teeth are a little bit too big here.
Okay.
And look at how the top lip kind of comes down a little bit,
Okay.
right? And then the
Mhm.
other thing is, and this is a really important thing to notice, at the edge of a smiling mouth, there's always this dark area. So if you don't put that in, the smile looks too wide, like
Okay.
that. See?
Mhm.
So you might actually be able to fix these because I don't think they're as big a yeah, I think the things that you were worried about aren't as big a deal. This needs to come in.
Yeah.
Let's see, make sure that shape is correct. Make sure the hair comes out a little bit farther. But other than that, yeah, but you know, Addie, this was a really good effort.
Okay.
Do you want me to send a picture over to you of this
Yes,
sketch and
please.
this thing? All right, I'm going to do
Yeah.
that right now. And then I we should look at it would be interesting to look at Mariana's because she had an extremely I think she really struggled with this one and we can see more of those problems. But see, most of the other things you got it.
Good.
I
Okay.
like the practicing. Trying to figure out what's wrong though, it's good. And also just getting used to this idea. Okay. Nope, not there. Sending this to Thursday. So I'll send this across the thread so you can try it. You can make some fixes.
Okay.
I think everybody, Jean, we'll do this with Jean. I'll show you the other two sketches just so you can see. And Billy, this is what I also want you to get, right? This is a really hard thing. So it's a stages thing, right? You can't be good at like faces right away. So it kind of helps to just let go of any idea that you have to and then go on. So here's Jean's. Let's look at it for a second. So one of the things I kept saying to Jean was that her neck was too thin. Do you see how, so she had a similar problem. She also lined this up with that. right, with the end of her chin, but also her neck wasn't far back enough. So if you go from like here, let's see, from here, from the edge of the chin to here, right, which this is the width, it should be up to about this far on the nose. So if I come here, it's too low. So really her neck, it's but also a very common thing to make the neck too narrow. So that was Jean's kind of one of her main things. So let's see. And also if I'm looking at where to start it, it's kind of up here. Yeah, look at what a difference that makes. And then here, look at what a difference. Maybe it comes in a little bit here like that. Yes, and then here. Yep. I mean, a lot of these things, and then the necklaces, right? They come up there and down here. And the lips in this particular shape, you can see she really missed the shape of the mouth. So the outer shape of the mouth is here. Hers is, if I sketched it over so you can see it. Can you guys see this? See like what's happening here? Hers kind of goes, so here's the actual shape of the mouth. Right? Right? Look at the difference there. And then, you know, you've got this shape happening here. And then once again, this here, this here. See how that starts to change things, getting that shape of that mouth correct. Her nose looks, I think her nose is a titch too long. Let me double check. 2, 3, 1. And her nose needed to come up just a little higher. See that? Just those little things will make a difference. Also, in this particular, I like how she got the eyebrows. I feel like she mostly got those right, particularly this one. And the shape of her eye looks pretty good, right? That looks good. So remember a lot of this, and it's a little bit hard to see here. This part of the face was in the light, and getting your shadow in is really going to help shape it. So, right. So even though these are varying light, mediums, and darks, this is the lightest area. And this kind of helps shape the face on this side. So I think that's good. If Mariana comes on, then we will do it. But I think that's enough. Does that helpful, you guys? Is this a helpful feature? Even if you didn't do the last assignment, it's kind of easier to see it, right? All right. So yes. So let's come up here. We've got this young lady. I'm going to, Billy, forward this so you can see this drawing is available. You can see the picture up close in the thread, but I'll also have it up here. And here we go. Okay, so some key measurements, right? We're going to start as always. And don't worry, I'm going to draw all over this thing, and then so you can get your block in, and then I have another copy that hasn't been drawn on so you can see details. So don't worry if I obscure some key details. So one of the things that's good, I'm going to draw a line down through the middle of the face. So this is the exact middle of the face. What looks weird about that? Hey, Mariana, I'll talk to you about, I'm happy to do a little review with you later on about how well you did with this and the lady. So we'll do that a little bit later.
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah. But right now let's get started. What looks weird about this? When I tell you that this is going down the middle of the face, does anybody have a kind of reaction to that? A weird reaction? What's weird about?
It feels curved.
Well, it's like, I mean, her head is tilted, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. What's the other thing that's really weird? Can anybody say?
You don't have it going on the tip of her nose.
It is going on the tip of her. Okay, here, I'm gonna do this. Tiny, come on. Come on, purist. Why does it seem weird that this is in there? What is the weirdest thing about this?
Well, I think I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, tell me.
Because it's not the center of the drawing.
Exactly.
It is, right. It is the center of the drawing. This is the center of her face. They don't look, the halves don't look of equal size.
Oh no. So
right?
one side closer to my eye.
Right. So once again, I'm just going, so Billy, this is where you have to like kind of have the disbelief, right? Suspend belief about what you think should be happening because we're working on a flat surface. Look at this. See how I am dividing my face in half? When I turn this way, this is still half my face. And you can still see both halves in entirety. But the half that's moving away from you is actually smaller, significantly smaller. So that is a helpful thing to tell yourself, right? As you go through the middle, it's a helpful thing to remember. And what's happening really is the same thing that happens when we draw here. Hold on. Draw a road. And it's okay if like it still seems weird, but you have to say these are two equal halves, but they don't look equal from this perspective. Right? They don't look equal. And the same factor is at play if I do this. Right? So y'all learned how to draw a road, right? Like that. The same factor is at play. I know that literally this road is not wider here than it is here. And I know that this road is flat on the ground. It's not rising up, right? I know that. But to show it going away from us, this is what it looks like with our cone vision, right? When you're working on a flat surface. So in flat surfaces, when you're trying to convey 3 dimensions, as things move away from us, they become more narrowly slanted like this. They get smaller and they go up the paper because they can't go, they can't go this way. Right? You can't go this way or this way. You can only go this way. You can only go this way or this way, like a windshield wiper. So I think that's the biggest mind thing that happens. And I try to explain that about 2,000 different ways. So forgive me if this is obvious to you guys, you know this already, but it's a good thing to keep in your mind. Oh, the face that's turned, the part of the face that's turned away from me, I can still see the whole face. Nothing's hidden, but it's smaller. Just like I can see the whole road, but it looks narrower. Right? And it looks like this part is higher up than it should be because we're translating from 2 dimensions to 2 and we can only go one way. We can't go this way. The reason I say this is that when I took my first drawing class at 30, I tried to draw all my angles as if I could go this way. And they all looked terrible. And the damn teacher did not know what I was doing. I was like, I'm sure I'm not the only one. No, I know I'm not the only one who's made this mistake because I've seen almost every single one of you guys do it. So I know, right? Like that it wasn't a mistake, but he couldn't explain it. I was like, even though I knew I could only go flat, I was trying to draw that angle. So what happens when I can only go this way or this way? My angles get steeper than is actually, kind of physically happening in a 3D object. So that's the thing that messes with people's heads. It's also the thing that nobody knows, that people cannot figure out on their own. You have to be taught it, right? Or you don't really get it. So having said that, little lecture over on perspective. Oops, no, what am I doing here? Okay, you move there. Okay. So we're finding the vertical distance and we're focusing on like the features of the face because we want to map them out first. So if I come from here to here, forehead. Oh yeah, this is a softball. 2, 3. So if I divide this line into three equal parts, and do you see how I'm getting those equal parts? I'm marking off one, and then I'm kind of here. I'll do it with a pencil so you can see it even better. I'm not measuring with a ruler. Throwing numbers into this becomes confusing. I'm measuring visually, spatially. So you can see my thumb is here, and I'm measuring the base, and the top of the pencil is at the top. So if I don't move my fingers, if I just come down here, right, I can check and see, is that the same as up here? And then again.
I'm noticing is that the third on the bottom it's measured to above the shadow, not below. When I measure,
it shouldn't be below the shadow. The shadow is that's the neck.
Like the chin shadow.
The chin shadow is below the neck, is on the neck. It's not the face, it's on the neck. It's the shadow on the neck. It is below the face.
Okay.
This shadow that you're talking about here, this is the bottom of the face.
Okay.
Got it? So that's a good question, by the way, Melissa. And I appreciate so this is like a cube, right? This is a part of the face. And I know this is the bottom of the face because it's so dark. So the chin is really here. The end of the chin is really here. And then the bottom of the chin, which I can see, is this little shape. So remember that as you're sketching things out, because that can be a real stumbling block. Let's see. So I know where my thirds are. I'm going to draw a line also through the middle of my eye line, right? From one side of the head to the other side of the head. So you'll see this line is located. Well, I'll get there in a minute. And then the other thing I want to do before we do anything else, what's the next thing? How do I figure out how wide this line is? Addie, how do I figure out how wide this line is?
Well, you could measure against how tall the face is.
Yes, good student, good little student. So once again, I'm measuring, I'm taking my pencil here and I'm lining up this edge here and I'm lining up my finger with the other edge of this line. And now I'm coming up the line. How wide? What are you seeing? Are you guys seeing a nice little?
Equal.
Yeah, pretty much, right? So now here's where we translate this, okay? I'm gonna have you sketch in your line. Your line does not have to be the same size as her. And in fact, I'm gonna make mine bigger. So I'm gonna do, let's see, yeah, it's a little bit at an angle, you're right. So Melissa, you were right there. It's like here. I'm just gonna make my face as big as I want it to be. Here, and then here, right? I'm just gonna make a line, any size. It does not matter what the size is, because now I'm going to proportionally, in fact, this is probably a little bit too, I may have to, where's my electric eraser? The electric eraser is your friend, $10. I'm telling you. Electric eraser is the best. I might have like angled it a little bit too much. I think it's a little bit more straight, so I'm going to redraw it. I'm going to redraw it. I'm just going to be like, yeah, right? Like that. It does not matter whether these are the same size. What does matter is, do I have this proportionally lined out the same? So this is the thing that people have the hardest time understanding, that it's not about a one-to-one transmission. It is about getting your proportions right. So now I have defined randomly my vertical line. And now I'm going to divide it into three I'm going to divide it into 3 equal portions. So to do that, I'm going to kind of guess. I'm going to start by guessing. So I'm going to come here and mark this, and then I'm going to take my measurement. So I'm not coming over here, right? Because this is smaller. This is smaller. I'm coming here. I'm going to check my measurement here. And then I'm going to come down and mark a second one. And then I'm going to come down here. Yep, that's about, these are about, yeah, and this is also too extreme. See how I'm continually scooting it to the right? So it's not so. But I can see my guess was pretty good. Right? 1, see, I'm also doing this with my finger to kind of double check. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm not trying to compare this to this because they're different sizes. It doesn't make sense. But as long as my proportions are the same, I'm going to do okay. And then here, about here, maybe a little bit further. 1, 2. Actually, believe it or not, it's exactly 1/3. If you divide, watch this one. I love it when this happens. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. If you actually divide this middle third into equal thirds, that's where your middle eye line will be. That's where you put it. 1, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So your middle eye line is right there. And then I can draw my middle line slightly. Oh yeah, let me give you another guideline that I think will be really helpful. If I were to draw this line straight across from the middle, it would look like that. So this is not a straight line, right? This is not a straight line across the middle. So if you want to, you can draw, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my height. And then I'm going to, uh-oh, I might run out of room here. I was all trying to get too big. Hold on. So I know that my width, so I know that this middle line lies at about the 1/3 mark of this middle. And then I know that this width is as tall as the height of the face. So I can come here, measure the height of the face, come over here, and I'll just measure, see how I'm just very awkward-y kind of thing I'm doing here. Where my finger is where the top is. So see, I've marked that. And now I come over to where my thumb is. And I measure my physical, my distance. Now I'm trying to go straight across here, right? Because that's going to show me how much my angle needs to be of my eye line. Too extreme. My angle of my eye line really comes in like this, right? It starts up here. So I think the most exhausting thing about drawing is that you're just constantly having to check your measurements. People find this very tedious until they realize that if they do it, they won't mess things up. It's amazing. And we're doing this because getting my outside parameters just makes sense. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check and see 2, 3, 4. It looks like about 1/4 of this, the length of this line is on this side of the face, of the middle line of the face, and 2, 3, 3/4 is on the other side. So the other thing I can do is check this 1, 2, 3, 4 to make sure that this line goes over about 1/4 and this side is 3/4. That's a lot of measurements. So I want you to try and get your face to this point and ask me if you can't remember anything. Or do the checks yourself, which you can do by doing this. Where am I? Oh, wow, I didn't. Huh. I'm going to remove the spotlight for just a second. Ah, wait a minute. I am, I am talking, but I can't see myself. Where am I? Show self view. Oh, there we go. Okay. Watch this. Sorry. Made myself disappear. I don't know how. That was crazy. So here is another way to measure this, because you guys don't have it in front of you like I do. You can't write these down, right? You can stand and check. You can definitely write things down on your paper, but when you're doing your checks, you can hold your arm out straight. And you can see here that I'm kind of, if I want to see, oh, do I have the thirds right? I line up my thumb, holding my arm straight. I line up my thumb with the bottom of the chin and my top of my pencil with my 1/3. And then I can go up and see, okay, is that 1/3? And as long as I keep my arm straight, I should be able to check and recheck my measurements on my source. That's like super hard. So, but it's okay. It's all practice, right? So go ahead and sketch this out. And I want you to observe all my eraser marks, all the ways I messed this drawing up, because I think it's important to remember this is not something that's easy. It's funny. It becomes very intuitive, but until you practice it. So Billy, you can go ahead and do what everybody else is going to do. I'm going to send this across the thread, the sketch. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to send this so you can see it closely on your phone, but I'm also going to send this so you can see what I'm expecting you to do. This is what I want you to do first and what I want you to focus on first. And I will be right back, you guys. So when you're ready, take a picture so I can take a look. Ah, Addie's ready. Okay. Addie, I think you're gonna probably have to, I'll double check this. Hold on. 1, 3, that looks good. I think that looks pretty good. Yep. I think you might have to slant a little bit more up, Addie. So if you'll notice, actually, and I had to look at this twice too before I really saw it, nothing really comes below this straight line that I drew out. Everything kind of comes above it.
Okay.
It needs to be a little bit more. And this, really, what's really funny to me, you know, Billy, you would sort of block out a pottery piece this way, right? But just using clay in 3 dimensions. Is that right? Like you would not try to like do the handle of a cup before you got the shapes of everything and the size and all of that. So the same thing has to happen for 2 dimensions, but because things look a little different, right, than they do, it's the difference that I think messes with people's heads, like until you kind of get it down.
So you want us to send this to you, Leah?
Yes, please. so I can take a look at it, make sure.
Hey, Leah, I sent my
Yeah.
thing, but my I don't think you can see the very edge dot of my face. It's like right on the edge of the paper that I took a picture of. It's
Okay,
just,
I think this looks good. I think I can see this. Here, hang on.
you know,
And
the
Melissa, yeah.
all the way out. I was just trying to form the outside.
Okay, so Mariana, I can tell you right now, this middle line is up way too high. So you missed it. Your middle line is not at the third. So I want you to look carefully and see here. This middle line goes through the 1/3, goes to the 1/3 of this middle third. So I've divided this middle third into 2/3. Yours is right up here. So you need to erase it.
I did the same, I think.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, you put it too low.
I need up a
So
third.
start by measuring out the thirds
Yeah.
equally, right? And then draw your line, draw the straight line and then the angled line from there.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. It's okay. That's like what this is all about. Melissa, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. 1. Melissa, there's something, okay, I think, so, oh, I see what you're saying. I need a new, yeah, I need a better picture. Yeah, Addie, that looks good. Melissa, I can't see, you're right, I can't see the edge of your face. So show it to me.
Yeah,
And
great.
be careful not to get that jaw in too soon because you'll put it in the wrong place. This adding it at this point before you get this point established can be tricky. Is my only point. Send it over to me and I'll take a look. I see you're jumping ahead and you should if you can, but make sure. Just send me the whole thing so I can see from edge to edge, from the tip of the ear to the tip of the ear.
I'll do that.
Okay. Let's see. So Billy, you've now got your straight line, right? Now she's angled. So yep, now get your angled line in. You can line it straight up here and run it down through and line it up with this third on this side.
So did you see what I sent, Leah?
I did. Yes, yes, it's in the right place. Your straight line is in the right place. And now you want to add in your angled line. Yep, excellent. Okay. Good job, everybody. All right.
So the ear,
I see.
do you
I
see the-
see. Yep, I totally do. So let me down. Now I'm going to double check. I just want to double check the measurements. Okay, something is off. Have you drawn the top of the head, Melissa? Is that what you're doing? So
No.
this is still off. So what I'm showing you is this. Here, let me see. 1, maybe I measured wrong. Here, hold on. No, wait. Maybe that's okay. 1. So this is a little, be careful here. Pull this just down a teens. The top of your head down a little teensy bit. That's kind of a, and I want you to really notice, you're going to have to get the hairline on top of that. My concern is you're going to get confused with where the hairline is versus where the top, it looks high.
Okay, put it down.
Yep. Yeah, it's a little bit, this line is a little bit too high. It's kind of coming up into here. You don't want to be doing that. And you shouldn't, and this is also not correct. You have the hairline completely wrong right now. This is why I'm like, don't draw these things in until you get these things right. Because look at what's happening now, later here at this point, now we can draw the hairline in, but you have it just going straight across. It's not going straight across because her head is tilted. It's like angle up, straight, angle down. You see that? Angle straight up. This is why I'm like, don't go too fast. You might think you've got it. This is where the mistakes happen. So I'm sketching, you guys are going to see here, I'm sketching out. Aha, here's that neck thing happening again. Right? I'm sketching out the outside shapes of the face, which we can now start, because we have the widest edges, we can start to sketch in, but be careful not to put in lines that aren't there. This line up here, this is not a straight line across. Now, if I'm to see how high it goes up, literally, it goes up. If I'm going to add the hairline in, which I want to do now, it looks to me like if I were to mark this at the halfway point, 1, 2, and I go straight up, 1/2 of this first third, this is where my hairline is, right here. Yes, I know it goes up higher in other places, but if you're going straight from here, this is like an extra half. So I'm going to mark that here. This is my hairline. And then my inner hairline goes, yes. So here, wait a minute. I might have confused myself here. Where is my, there we go. 1. I'm going to take this off. Start over again. 1, 1, 2, here. All right, so if I mark my halfway point here and come up here, this is the top of my hair. Then I kind of come down like this. I know it comes down to about here. And I know this stops here, right? Like that. So I can start to do my shaping of my outer face. And then here, there's a little dip up, but not much of one. Notice I'm not drawing the hair. I'm just drawing the kind of outer shape of the hair. What's really awesome about this particular model is her hair is kind of this great, she's got a great set of kind of sculpted shapes. And I'm going to start on this side. This kind of bends in a little bit. I'm drawing here first, the outside. Right. So that kind of bends in. I'm probably going to have to reshape this hairline a bit, but I think I kind of got it. Right. Then that goes up at an angle. Hairline goes like that and like that. See how that's starting to become a bit spelled out? We're going to definitely, I can already see, I'm like, things have to be reshaped. But for this exact moment, I think this will give us and not get us enough in the ballpark so that when we correct, it won't be that hard. I can come straight down from here as well. And notice, oh yeah, there's a couple of other things to notice. Number one is that the nose is really right above this 1/3 line, right? So if I'm trying to check and see where's the ear in relation to that, I can see that the bottom of the nose and the ear are totally at the same, the bottom of the ear are totally at the same place. They line up. And that there's this kind of straight line, and then it comes down like that. There's like a neckline, a neck lines up about halfway down on this side. I guess here, I've forgotten the hairline down here. So there's hairline as well. There's a hairline as well, right? I know my chin is here. I want to go straight across. Jaw lines are like super hard to get in the right place. So it takes some fiddling to get them right. I will for sure fix it, like change this a bit, but it's enough. I have enough there. And now I'm going to slow down and have you guys catch up. I kind of ran out of space here, so let's try this again. 1, 2. Notice I broke up. I didn't try to do the jaw as one curve. I kind of broke it up into 3 lines. So there's like this line, and then this kind of straight line here that comes across and up. And then I'm going to come down because this line comes down just straight, just below where the nose is before curving down and in. So even though I don't think I have everything exactly right, I still feel like I've got the essential pieces right. Now notice where her neck lines up here in relation to this line. Notice how far back. Oh yeah, see, like that. I think I need to bring this in a little bit. I think I had it slightly too wide. But this will definitely. Melissa, do you see why I'm like, don't draw this stuff too soon until you've placed everything? Because you're creating that kind of like model face without looking at this particular face, if that makes any sense. That kind of construction is not. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna.
Leah, I sent you. I did a drawing like you do a drawing. I just sent it to you. So that's what I was trying to kind of. I mean, I fixed it. I mean, I fixed the hair.
Okay, got it. Got it. I'm just saying adding in lines too soon, like jaw lines and things, can be a little bit. I got it, but I'm just saying it's easy to get it off. I mean, I don't know. We're talking apples and oranges. I see what you're doing.
I mean, I fixed it, but I did think about it.
Right. I see. All right. You thought about it. A+. I'm going to star my thirds just so you can see what they are versus everything else. Okay. Looks pretty good. All right. Let's see. Addie, I think your ear is too large. It's because her head is bent, so it's a little bit. Look at where, Billy, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Look at where her ear, if I put a line straight across, look at where at the third point where the nose is, look at where the ear comes. I bet your ear is, you have your ear down here, which makes her, because it's because her head is tilted up. So we're looking at it. Billy, that looks.
Does her lobe look weirdly large?
Does her what?
Lobe, her earlobe.
No, not at all. Not to me, because this is the way she's turned towards us. So this is one of the biggest things. This is one of the, this is the thing that's closest to us. So it's one of the biggest things. Well, maybe this and the nose, right? They're closest to us, so they're bigger. So things only feel weird if you're like remember, as things come towards you, they get bigger. As they move farther away, they get smaller. So she's tilting back and like turned just to really mess with you. Yeah, so Melissa, so check that out. So it's deeper here. Hold on, I almost got it. So really look at the shape of the ear comes in way more. Let's see. That's better, Addie. That's better. That's better. Good job, you guys. Really good. Addie, I still think you need it. Well, we'll see. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, also, this is kind of a bit high, Melissa.
What is her hair?
Yeah, her hair is a little bit too high here.
I can see that too.
So, yeah. I
You
like the shape of I like how you have this line going through. So this is an interesting line that Melissa has drawn. You can see it here. See how that ear kind of lines up with the top of the jaw and then the bottom of the jaw angles in. All of it above this third. So I'm going to try something similar. Keep dropping my pencil. Where are you? Here you are. Okay. So if I'm to go like that, down like that, that's good. That's a good line. That's a good line to check, Melissa. So that's better. So if anybody needs that, that's kind of a good angle line. Yeah, because of her head tilted back, she's just totally tilting her ear towards you. Also, ears are huge. They're totally huge. Nobody ever believes how big they are because they come on this side of the face that they come to the part of the face that nobody really looks at, but ears are huge. Yeah, I feel like that improved things for me too. I'm still not exactly sure this is in the right place, but I don't need to figure that out right now. I mostly just need to work with what we really need to do is just get these pieces together. We're going to continue now we're going to continue our exploration of kind of where things are, where all the features are before we get really into them. So let's see here. If I'm going to mark the eye from here to here to here, there's like 1, 2, 2.5 eyes on this side. 1, 2. So let's see. So 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5, 4. Because of her positioning and her hair and the way her head is turned, this is really only about, let me check this. 1, 2, 3. This is really only 4 eyes across. That's interesting. I've never seen it. Normally it's 5 eyes across, but in this case, from here to here, if I use this big eye as a measurement.
Leah.
Yeah.
I've kind of found that too with some of the other faces we were drawing, that if you use the bigger eye, I only got up to 4.
That sometimes happens.
So
that sometimes happens, but don't get caught up in that as a rule because it doesn't always happen.
Okay.
You want to check it, right? Notice I kind of brought my head in just a little bit. It's easy. Like something that looks like a really simple, like just a millimeter can go really far off. So if I were to take this eye measurement, and then I'm going to come over here. From here, I1, from here, I2. From here, I3. Yep, it's 4 eyes. So what you want to do is divide this line that you've drawn into 4 equal quarters. And actually, we've kind of already done that because this is 1 quarter, right? This is 2 quarters, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to divide this line into 4 quarters. I know this is going to seem a little weird, but trust me on this. 1 quarter is here. 1/2 is here. 3 quarters is here. And basically 4 quarters or 1 is over here. So when I do that, I see that my middle eye, this my big eye here, actually comes in like this. And I know it's the same size as this. So I mark it. Right, 1, 1, 2, 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3. So my eye comes here and ends about here. I'm not getting in the details of the eye yet. I'm just kind of trying to get them in the right space. And then let's see. It's pretty much if I go one eye over here, that's where this happens. So there's a tiny, if I go here and here, that means the second eye scoops in just a little bit more. So the second eye is smaller than the first eye. Also really notice that the shape of her eye and the way she's holding her eye right now, the bottom is very straight. She's kind of squinting a little bit. Also, we're looking down, the bottom is straight. So I know that was a lot of measurements. So if you missed that, just try your best here and then send it in so I can take a look at it and I'll help you with that. That was kind of a slightly wonkier way to do the eye than usual. Try not to get anything into the eye yet. And then the nose, right? We know that the outside edge of the nose usually lines up with the either the outer or the inner edge of the tear duct. And I know that the nose is also slightly slanted. It's above here and it's slightly slanted. So curve line up. It's kind of slightly down to down. And notice, of course, that the sides, and notice I'm not doing any nose holes. I'm just kind of trying to get the width of the nose on this side. That's where the nose lines up. Here it is here. Two, three. As usual, that thirds line is really helpful. So if I divide my last, and honestly, you guys, I will repeat all of this, I promise. 1, 2, 1, 2, down here a little bit. 1, 2, 3. If I divide this last third into equal thirds. 1, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yep, a little bit further down. 1, 2, 3. The first third is the middle line of the mouth.
Leah, can you explain how you did the fourth again? Mine does not look like that.
How I did the fourths of the eyes.
Yeah.
I divided this into 3/4 on this side and 1/4 on this side. And then can you see how this like second fourth, how the eye kind of cuts in and ends about halfway. It does not end all the way here. Send it over. Let me see. I'll show you.
Okay.
Sometimes it's really hard to put these into words. So let's see if I can.
It's so hard. I'm just saying, it's so hard.
Right? It's really hard, right? Yes, it's a lot of measurements. So let's see. One. Let me check Addie's first, and then I'll check yours. So let's see. 1, 2. That looks good, Addie. Addie, that's great. You got it. So
Thank you.
it's essentially, let's see. 1, 2, 3. All right. So Billy, these are your 2 quarter points, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So these are the 3 quarter points. The eye comes a little bit over the edge of this second quarter point, and it comes in a little bit before the middle line of the face.
So your first quarter includes your hair.
Yeah. Yeah, and in fact, I can see here that I need to get my hairline a little bit further. Yeah. Yep, exactly. Right? So you don't want to, right? We're not used to thinking about the hair, correct?
Correct.
Because you're like, I'm not drawing the hair. Why do I need to think about the hair? But we need to think about the hair because it's in relation to everything else. Did you see, by the way, how far off I was on where my hairline was? And I only did that, Billy, when you said, wait, that includes the hair. So this is how we start to figure this stuff out. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But you look at it's in better shape than you're thinking. Melissa, that looks, let's see. Okay.
I made her right eye feel smaller because it's too close to the edge of the face.
It is smaller. It should be. That's not the issue I'm having. It almost looks like you have her head is tilted. So her eyes are actually kind of going at an angle too. And it looks to me like you have them lined up like this. See how there's a slight tilt? This is straight. This is the tilt. But the other thing, 1, 2, 1.5, 1. This mostly looks pretty good, Melissa, but
They're not the same.
I think they are not the same size. No, they're not. The eyes are not the same
I
size.
didn't know I wasn't muted.
That's okay, but it's right. They're not the same size. So Melissa, the first thing is they're too straight. So this one needs to be slanted up a little bit, coming down, right? And then the other thing is to make sure, let me see, I'm just double checking to make sure. Other thing, everything else looks, this sort of curve that you've got is not really happening at the angle you've got it.
Right.
It's too strong. So that's going to mess with your head later, I feel like. In reality, oh, I see what happened. Okay, so this is what's really happening. You've got this line, and then you need to go more straight down. There's a slight curve, but not much of one. And then this comes out like that. But really, the eye needs to come slightly up. This eye needs to come slightly up.
Okay.
I still feel like, and I'm going to double check this. I'm checking the width of my neck because I want to see. Oh, no, it's there. Weird. Okay. 1, 2, 3. No, so Billy, you've got it a little bit too far to the right. Right? There needs to be an eye width in between each eye. So scoot this eye just a little bit this way. Not at the quarter point. This is the quarter point. You have your eye right. You have your eye right here. Like that.
Okay.
Right? So scoot it. So here's my quarter point. I'm going to scoot it a little bit on this side and then a little bit here. This one is particularly janky. That makes you feel better.
Okay, my struggle is that they're not the same size.
Right. Why aren't they the same size?
Well, it's because it's going away from me.
Yes. Yes.
But when I'm confused because when I go to the halfway mark.
Mm-hmm.
and
What
then
halfway?
I
Which
just-
halfway mark?
on the closer side, the left.
Okay. On this one?
Yes. So if I go to the halfway, then how do I judge how big to make that eye?
That eye is exactly 1/4. So you can come here and
Mhm.
measure a quarter distance.
Okay.
And that is the size of the eye.
Okay.
Good question. Great questions. Mariana, I want to see yours. This is the important point. This is where we do all the finagling and the figuring and the canoodling. Like figuring out, all of it is here. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's see. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Looking pretty good so far. 1, 2. Good. Good job. Good job. Yay! I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's coming along. All right. So let me show you where to put the mouth, right? Where to place the mouth. And by the way, Melissa, I really dig this line here. It's a good identifying of that line, that through line here. It's excellent. Really, really good. And I never would have thought of it myself. So now remember my other little favorite rule here, which is that the middle of the mouth line, this very dark, here, I'm going to sketch it with a light so you can see it, is exactly 1/3 of the way. So the middle of the mouth line is what you want to put in first. And it is exactly 1/3 of the way, the middle of this mouth line, down this last third. So if I divide this one into thirds, and I do my middle of my mouth line, it's quite dark. It's right shorter on this side, kind of longer on this side. I start with this. Let's see. Ah, yes. And she's looking at us from the side, so her iris is pretty much over here. Same over here, right? Her iris is kind of so the edge of the mouth lines up with the iris. On this side too. That's the middle of the mouth line. The only problem with this is that it really is hard to see. And then down here is the bottom. Now remember, and this is very prominent on her here. I'm going to take a picture of her mouth without all the, wait, hold on, I got the other one here. I'm taking a close-up of her mouth so you can really see how the shape of this goes. This dark line, which is really the middle line of her mouth, extends much farther than the meat of her lip, the top or the bottom. This like little line comes out here. And then it's like this. And remember, her mouth is a little tilted. And it's a little bit shorter on this side. And it comes down like that. And a little bit down like this. And then on this side, the lip kind of disappears. And on this side, it's kind of plumped out like that. And then, of course, if you want to, you can put in that little triangle for the shadow of her chin. Now we're starting to get a little bit there.
Leah, what are you using to measure from the upper lip to the bottom of the nose? Is that a third?
This is a third. Up from the upper, I'm sorry, no, yeah, so yes. So not the upper lip, the middle line of the mouth right here is exactly 1/3 of the way down this final third. Okay. So the first thing you do is you divide this into equal thirds, and here is where that. Okay. Yep. I bring this up, Billy, because I used to mess this up all the time, where the side of the mouth was. I mucked it up consistently. Like I couldn't get it in the right place. And then I read a book which said sometimes, like mostly the middle line of the mouth is 1/3 of the way down in this final third, and that helps so much. It's not always true, right, gang? We know that. All right. Once we get this in, we can start shaping, start adding in some darks. We can start shaping the eyes, and then we'll put in the eyebrows. So we'll go to the next part. I'll remove this and we'll go to the next one. You come in like this. There we go. Let's see.
The lips have to be all the way down here.
Patty, remember, everything's at an angle. You're making things straight. You've got her nose too straight. You have it like this. It's at an angle. And it's also oh, something's really off here. Hold on. Something is off. Addie, hold on. Oh yeah. Your nose is completely in the wrong place. 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. No. We're in good shape. We're in good shape. Your nose has to come. So you have this happening. I'm going to draw it in so you can see exactly what's going on. You did this. it's below the third point. The actual nose is above. And it's at an angle. All right.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Sorry, I had a moment. You've got so many marks on there. I got kind of lost in them. So doesn't that make you feel better that I get lost in them too? It's really easy to get too lost in these. And it's the same with the mouth, right? It starts higher. Look, if I put a straight, this is a straight line across. This is not straight. That's straight. This is at an angle.
Okay.
Okay.
So is the bottom lip on the third line?
It isn't. It looks like it's a little, here's the third line. You mean the bottom third?
Okay.
It's a little above.
Okay.
And this is a little bit, you know, above this third line. Yep. It's really easy to want to straighten it, something that's not straight. Yeah, and I'm sure this is still too wide. I'm going to show you guys a kind of final check before we go into more defined features definition. And notice I have not put in the eyebrows yet, nor even the upper lid line. We haven't even started with the eye, with that yet. One of the things I like to do once I have established the width of my nose, the eyes in the right place, right, the mouth kind of lined up with the irises of the eyes, I like to check things like this. If I were to measure the width of my nose, how wide would the cheek be? And what you can see here, if I go from here to here, that the nose is wider than the cheek on this side, the width of the nose. So look at where mine is. I'll show you again. So here I am, I'm checking the width of the nose. Here's where one nose width on this side is. See how far away that is from the cheek? Look what happens when I do mine. See that? I'm like much closer in. I'm like much closer. So I know that my cheek definitely needs to come in, needs to narrow here. So that when I put the width of my nose, there we go. That looks a little bit more like what's going on. So I check it on this side, and then I check it on the other side. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. It's really 2 nose widths. 2. Oh yeah, something's off here. I'm off. Let me figure out where that is. So I'm actually going to go straight across here. Check this line. Interesting. So I think I made my face too wide here. Never fear. You guys are going to watch. You guys watch. I've just made a huge measuring mistake. So now I'm going to fix it. I'm going to double check this. So this should be here. This is here. But this, yes. This comes up to here. All right. So this is where my ear stops, here. I'll show you what I just did in a second. But I just significantly 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, even more. This has to come into. Ah, she was looking too wide. One, 2, 1, 2. Yep. Look at that. I want you to observe how off my ear was. I had my ear all the way over here. And really, when I checked my nose, when I checked this distance from here to here, this distance from here to here is shorter than this distance. So I needed to bring my ear in, and notice I'm not freaking out, right? Now this is what makes sense. There we go. Now all of a sudden, my face looks a lot more proportionally correct.
So Leah, the 2 nose widths is to the ear or to the end of
to the ear. To the end of the ear.
whole-
To the end of the ear. So Billy, I'm always looking for the outside edge. And I know this is weird because we like to think of the face, right, in terms of the face, and then the ears are sticking out. So if I draw this line straight across, so if everybody has a couple of adjustments to make, you may not have made this mistake. I don't think I noticed anybody making this mistake, but look at where it was. Look at where I had it, and look at where it actually is.
Mine's off pretty significantly.
Yeah, it's because I kind of lined up. This is what I see happened. I lined up my ear just going straight down. And really, it's much more angled in. It's
I'm
much.
going to send you a picture. Tell me if you think where my long line is where the ear's supposed to end.
Okay, let's see. Now that I finally figured it out, Billy, I can help you.
And if it is, tell me how to do it. How do I fix it?
I mean, it's okay. This is the struggle, right, Em? Right, Melissa? It's the struggle. It's the good struggle.
Yep.
It's the struggle. And I do this with you, and I don't practice it because I want you to see I make these mistakes too. So I want you to see it's not just like, right? Yeah, send it over. Melissa, so I'm going to do a couple of these checks.
Something's wrong with mine for sure.
Well, for who said that? Melissa?
Yes.
Yes. Well, number one, her eyes are too straight. But also, I think this eye isn't big enough. Here, hold on. I'm going to check a couple of things. Her eye needs to be angled. These eyes are angled down. Yours are straight across still. But hold on. Let me double check.
Eye? Or the whole thing?
Let me double check. Let me check a couple things because I see it. It's off. 1, 2. Okay, so the first thing that's off, Melissa, is you don't have your mouth in the right place. So remember the center. So from this last third, the center of the mouth is 1/3 down. You have it more like halfway. Okay. So that's part of it. But now I'm going to check your other measurements. 1. Your ear is too long. So the ear is kind of chopped. The ear actually, and the shape of the ear. So actually these are, I'm pretty sure 1, I'm just checking. 1.
Doesn't it go to the bottom of the nose, the ear about?
It's a little slightly above because it's tilted up. Slightly above. But also the shape of it is not right? It's kind of thicker and wider here, and then it comes in. So it's like this. It's like up, straight, and then kind of in like that. But the other thing, how's that? So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so mouth is too low. And now I'm looking at your eyes just to see. 1, 2, 3. But really, Melissa, your eyes have to be at a diagonal, and they aren't. They're straight. They're like straight across. They read like this, like they're lined up right next to each other. So I believe this eye has to come up higher. It has to come up more at an angle rather than straight. And now I'm checking to see.
It's not straight. That's what I'm
It is. It is. Maybe this eye has to come down a little bit then.
Sometimes.
Maybe this eye has to come down, but 1, 2, 3. And I think also, like me, your ear, your cheek, this line here is out too far. So if you measure it here, 1, 2, it's less than 2 noses, right? This line. So if I measure on yours, 1, 2, this line has to come to the right more. So this line, this big, nice line that you identified, that needs to come to the right more. It's going to narrow her cheek in, like significantly more. Yours comes almost like this.
Okay.
Right? So start with that, because that's going to give you your cheek in the right place. And then I think you're going to see
And the ear is more
what's going on. And then the ear is kind of wider and fatter just because of the angle that we're looking at it. It's not this skinny, narrow thing. There we go. So I always do this. I always do this nose check, I like to call it, because it helps me figure, okay, so let's see if I've got it right. 1, 2. Damn it. I keep scooching my ear out. There we go. 1, 2. Really, it should be 1 nose and then 2 nose. Wait. 1, 2. Still don't have it in. 1, 2. Yep. I'm still shifting it in. Now that actually is starting to read more correctly. Yep. There we go. She's actually got quite a slender face, this young woman. So my cheek is just way too wide. So the nose test, it's really helpful. The width of the nose. 1, 2. So notice how easy it is to creep off the right. And you know what? I don't even think I have well, I'll go back to adjusting nose, eyes, and mouth when we get to the new thing. But, yep. So really, if you look at it, it's like 1 nose, and then the second nose is the very outside edge of the ear. So it's really 2 nose widths to the edge of the ear.
So Leah, how do you check the forehead to make sure it's not the same issue?
From here? You mean like from here to here?
Yeah.
You can do a couple of things. Number 1, I can draw a line straight across here, right? From the middle line to the forehead. And then I can check it with my pencil here and line it up against my vertical distance. And you can see it should be, because I've already defined this, right? So so my distance from here to here should come up almost to my eye line. The middle of my eye line should be about here. So let's see how well I did. Should be back here. There we go.
So interesting that we thickened the bottom of the face, but narrowed the top of the face. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of how the
Okay.
hair, right? Like how the hair is. And hold on, I'm just making sure I don't have some new terrible, like I haven't like made some other really egregious mess up. I'm just going to double check this. Yep, this should be the width. So here to here, that's exactly right. And then here to here really is from the chin up to the eye line, which is about here. So the width. So it's easy. It's just, I guess the lesson here is that what we think is happening, we're kind of constantly having to check. And because we've established this vertical line with its thirds, we use that for most of our measurements, right? This is the thing.
Okay, so I did send you another picture. They ignored the last one.
Yep, got it.
I think the lips are wrong, but maybe I'll get that later.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry about that. Let's just worry about the widths of things. Okay, Addie, I'm going to check this. Better, Addie? It looks better. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, Addie, the width across from here to here looks great. Addie, your eyes are still lined up exactly straight. What's going on there? You having a problem with your angles today? This is straight across. Look and you'll see they're straight across. Oops.
Mine too.
Yeah. So it's easy to do that. So really pay attention. She is at a curve, right? This is straight. This is curved. But
I think I did the same.
the mouth is better. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. So Billy, let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I wonder if it was how I took the photo. Wait, never mind. I just took it again. It still looks straight. Okay.
It still looks straight.
You're right.
It's definitely you.
Oh, dang it.
So, let's see here. And also, I think I'm kind of missing something in the arch of this mouth, but I will get that in the next layer. All right, Billy, sorry, I'm looking here now. I'm just looking to make sure all the pieces are, this is a hard one. I thought this was an easy one. It totally isn't. As always.
I think
Yes.
my mouth is the same issue, or my eyes are the same issue. So I'm working on
Okay, so
that.
let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, your mouth is a bit big.
Yeah.
Bigger than it should be. Notice how much space is kind of, here's the, yep. And then the other thing is, Billy, you've done this. So from the ear, you've done that.
Oh, okay.
Right? And
Right.
really, this is a line that comes along the edge of the ear in and then down.
Got
That's
it.
kind of that. But otherwise, let's see, Mariana. Hold on. I think 1, 2, 3. So, Mariana, your nose is coming down too far. Remember, this side is higher, this side is lower. You have done it the opposite way. Other than that, things look. And also, I think, yep, your eye is too big. Oh, no. Here's the problem. I'm sorry, Mariana. Your this line is not correct at all. This nose line. And look at the eye here. Here, hold on. I'm going to double check something. First, I'm going to check this. I know this was right before. Okay. Now I'm going to check this. 1, 2. There should be, your eye is too big. This eye is way too big. It needs to be about, you need to take about a third of it off. Because look here, when I come here and I go over here, 1 eye length, I hit the edge of the hairline. It's like 1.5 eye lines. So your eye comes all the way to here. Your eye's like this, right? It's huge. So this eye is narrower, and notice, get rid of this line because that's not what's happening. In fact, there's a little line here, but it's not the shape that you've drawn it. It's more of a straight up and down thing. So don't try to add in that. And then, yeah, once you make that, then all right. Yeah, Melissa, there you go. There you go.
Chin was messed up. I fixed it a bit better.
Okay, mouth. So nose, 2, 3. Yep, looks much better. I'm just making sure we haven't fallen off the main. Yeah, this mouth has a really interesting shape to it. And I am going to, this mouth has a really interesting shape to it, and we're gonna look at that now. And the nose as well, because I want you guys, let's get into that. It's looking pretty good, but I think it's gonna help when we see this. So I'm gonna take this off.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put this up so we can actually see the features, because I've covered them up with my marks. I've covered them up intentionally. Well, not really intentionally, but I've covered them up because I know that I don't want you to focus on them while we're blocking things in place. We don't really get into the detail of this. Okay, interesting. Yep. All right. So once we get into the shape of the eye, I'm going to do this over here big so you can see what's happening. So remember what we don't want to do with the eye. Here, I'm going to put this over here so you can really see it. Oops. When we're drawing the eye, we do not want to do this and this. That is not what's happening. That is how a little kid draws an eye. It is not how the eye is shaped. The eye is really shaped like this. Curved at the top, straighter at the bottom. Right? The other thing is that the line is very light at the bottom of the eye. It's really only dark at the top. So I like to kind of almost even give myself a very light line at the bottom there for this light lid. And then in this particular case, her iris, right, is scooted to the left. We can't even really see any white. And we can see a big triangle of white here on the right. Now there's a little slightly darker area here, which is the tear duct. And what's the most distinguishing feature of the eye? What's the thing that's totally different from person to person?
Color.
Nope. You can't see it. What do you mean? We can't even see color. We're like, this is a black and white. What's totally different about every eye?
Shape.
What?
The shape.
Shape of it.
What's the thing that's distinguishing and different? I'm going to point it out. Addie, I'm going to put your face up. I'm going to remind you. So here, I'm going to add you. You need to look straight at us. And now you're going to look at me. You guys are going to look at both of us. Here, I'll get rid of this for a second.
At the upper lid?
Yes, Melissa, yes. Two things, right? The upper lid line. So the shapes of our eyes are pretty much the same, actually, the actual eye opening. But the upper lid line is very different. Now look at the difference here. I'll come up close so you can see mine. Look at the difference between Addie's and mine. I have a lot of skin here between my upper lid line and my lash line. Addie's upper lid line almost rides her her eyelash line. So that is one of the most distinct differences between people. And then the second thing is what? What else is distinct? Do you remember? Melissa, what is it?
Brow line.
Yeah, eyebrows. So look at, so while I have this upper lid line with lots of skin, right, between it and Addie's goes right up to here.
Mm-hmm.
It's what makes you look so cute. Look what happens when I try to do it. I look terrifying. Notice as well that my eyebrow sits almost exactly on top of my upper lid line. Addie's rises up above her upper lid line, and there's a lot of space in between.
Mm-hmm.
This is the difference. Now I'm going to swap out Billy for me.
I'm going to take my glasses off.
Yeah, take your glasses off so we can look and we'll compare Billy and Melissa. Melissa, can I put you in there too? So let's look at you guys' difference in your eyes just to see it. Oh yeah, very different. Look at how different. Billy, actually, Billy, come closer because I'm trying to figure out where your upper lid line is.
Old.
No, it's not that. Oh, interesting. So yeah, Billy, you and I have more similar shape actually. Do you see how wide do you see how high up hers is? And look at how Melissa, who has these very wonderful wide open blue eyes, look at how close, look at how much closer her lid line is. And then I guess the thing is, the higher the upper lid line, the closer your eyebrows sit on top of it, right? So yours, Billy, sits right on top. Melissa has this bit of skin and the eyebrows kind of arch up. So these are the main differences in eyes between people. It's crazy, isn't it? So significant. It makes a huge difference. So in this particular person, so upper lid line, hugely important. Thank you. Thank you, darlings, for being the Melissa. Wow. I love that. So as we go in and start to draw this eye, it's kind of shaped like this. It's straight at the bottom. And her upper lid line is a little bit more like Melissa's, I'd say. It kind of comes up, arches a little bit, and comes down. It's fairly close to her upper lash line. And then her eyebrow, oh gosh, I don't want to walk this out, but look at the shape. Her eyebrow has this shape. Now notice, what am I doing right now, you guys? What am I utilizing? Addie, you should know the answer to this question. What am I utilizing right now? What am I drawing?
Negative space.
Yes. So I'm actually drawing the space between the two objects to try to get them in the right place. So see how I'm working? It's a little bit narrower here. It goes straight. It gets kind of thinner, and then it kind of goes across. So it's wide here and it's kind of narrow here. That helps me get the bottom of the eyebrow, and then I can kind of follow along the top. So if I'm going to do that again, there's two more things I want to talk to you about, and then I'm going to see you draw it. I want to draw this big. The other thing is that the iris, the outline of the iris is always darker, as dark as the pupil, right? So the pupil and the iris are darker. And then it's generally dark, not quite as dark, but almost as dark on the top of the iris, and then it's lighter on the bottom. That's because there's a reflected light edge. Here it looks like, you can't really see it on this side, but we can totally add it in. There's like a little light spot right here. And then if you come down, it's lighter here and it's darker up here. What's also true, it's darker here, right? This sort of dark upper line is dark. Look at how light her lower line is. You can barely see that lower line of the eye. If you want to, you could also kind of slightly shade in. And she's not wearing any of those goofy fake eyelashes. So really it's just slightly darker and thicker on that top upper lid line and very light down here. So let's try it on here. I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna sketch this. I know how wide this is, right? I know here's her upper lid line. Like that. It's dark here, and then here, I'm going to create that negative space again, shape again. This one. Right, it's narrower here. Hi, Muka. Right, so now I can actually get the shape of her eyebrow. I think correct. Hi. Well, somebody's here to say hello. Here she is. Hi, sweetie. I've done so much erasing. I think I can find it again. This extends a little bit longer. So Mariana, you can see also what happens when you make your eye too wide, then the eyebrow gets way too wide, right? So you want to be careful not to make these things bigger really than they are. There, see the connection between them and the eye, right?
Exactly.
And then, yeah, and then I'm looking here to see, so this is what's bugging me. This is like that. This. Oh, nope, that's right. I think my chin comes up just a touch. So this, I'm still, notice I'm continuing to come back and check my measurements to make sure I got this right. Maybe this comes down a little bit. If I go from the eyebrow to here, it's pretty much, yeah, I still don't have this hairline. So I think I have my hairline out too far. I think my hairline needs to bend in a little bit more. Because I think my hairline is too thick here. There we go. How does that look? That actually looks a little bit better. So my original hairline was here. I'm bending it in a little bit more. And that actually seems to be more what's happening. So I can bring it out a little bit. Yep. Yep. Hi. So I'm constantly, as I'm adding an element, kind of checking it against the other elements. Now, Mariana, this line which you were trying to draw is here. Melissa sketched it in really nicely. It's like right there. It's not this long line because it's kind of light here. It's really just kind of circles around the eye. So if I do the other eye, here, hold on. If I do the other eye, let me do the other eye first, that shape of that other eye. I'm looking at my need to make sure. then the shape of my eyebrow on this side is like that. So it's more like a kind of triangle that ends down here. And then it kind of pops up. There we go. Yeah. So the shape of this eyebrow and the shape of this eyebrow are completely different. I think we're going to spend another week on this. I hate to say it. This is one of those faces that's going to require, God, it looks so simple. It looks so simple, dang it. So we'll just get as far as we can today and we'll finish this up next week. Let me see where you guys are at. Let's see. All right. Billy, this is not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Phew. No.
Yeah, right? Like actually, this is incredible. This was hard, right, ladies? This one was a particularly hard one. I always think it's going to be so easy and it's like, this is excruciating. I feel, let's see. Addie, I think your eyebrow has to come up. So I'm just going to return to the first measurement just to show you. I actually think, yes, let me show you how this looks for location purposes. Look, if I draw a line straight across, I'm going to do it with a pencil here so you guys can see it. This is all about, right? So here is like the first third is here. 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep. If I draw a line straight across, look at that eyebrow. Oh, so I did it wrong too. Here, so I'll fix mine too. If I draw a line straight across here at the third mark, this eyebrow comes under the line. This eyebrow comes over.
Mine's wrong too.
Yeah, it's all right. Mine's wrong too, see? Mine is also wrong. So there you go. Yeah, I was feeling like the eyebrows were hugging a little too close to the edge of the thing. So this is about as far as we'll get. So we will go ahead. So we'll start with that.
So the eyebrow that's closest to you
This one.
is higher.
Yeah, see? Here's the
Higher.
1/3 mark and it actually comes up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even higher. And that makes a difference, doesn't it? It makes kind of a difference. There's also a really hanky angle happening with her nose, which we'll talk about tomorrow, right? Which is also messing with things because we can kind of see, anyway, we can see underneath, we can also see around. Let's see, Melissa.
I know I have her nose wrong.
Yeah, so this is also at an angle, right? More of an angle. I don't know though. I like how the eye's looking. She looks, it's funny, the way you have her drawn, she looks more femmy. She has a slightly like kind of masculineness, right? here. I mean, delicate but masculine. But yeah, mostly it's that this nose is at an angle, but the eyes look good.
Is her nose at an angle? It
Yep,
is?
it is. If you look at it, right? Here's straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's at an angle because she's turned, like she's tilting her head. So everything is at an angle. And the mouth is like even more possible. So we'll work on this one next week as well, guys, because this is just one of those drawings that's going to take a long time. Yeah, better, Addie. That looks good. Yeah, and Melissa, I think her nose is yeah, so her nose is coming down here, and it's funny how much the difference can be. It's like 1 millimeter, and it's like the difference between.
I need to move it down.
No, you need to move it up on
Oh.
this side.
Which side?
On this side, you need to move it up. The other thing that you can check, right, is from the bottom here to the edge of the eye, it should be about 1 eye. Let's see. That is true. So you can check the edge of the eye from edge to edge. And if you go any lower than this, this is where the nose stops. Okay. Mariana, let's see.
So did you memorize all these measurements, Leah?
No, yeah, no. There are some measurements I have memorized. And mostly what I've gotten better at, and this is the thing, is I've gotten better at establishing this baseline, which is here, and using this to check everything. Right. So what I'm actually doing is just constantly checking against what I've already established as true, right, as proportional. And so you get better at doing that as you do it longer. But obviously, I mucked up a bunch of times too. So I'm not even really sure I have this jawline in. We'll work on it more. But like it's really an way of like, once you start working on one area, it's easy to forget about the other area. Then you drift. And it's absurd.
To the end of the nose, is that a pretty typical measurement?
What's that? Yeah, actually, the edge of the nose usually is about, if we can look at our own, here, check me out, see if that's true. I'm going to add a spotlight right here. I'm going to remove this one so you can see me bigger. I'm pretty sure that is true most of the time, but I try not to, right? So if you look here, let's see. Yeah.
Yep. It's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually pretty accurate if you look at yourself. So yeah, there are some things that after a while you get a kind of sense of like where they are. The nose, for example, is really the width of an eye because it kind of lines up everybody's nose, right? Because it kind of lines up between the two eyes. Noses are always way bigger than you think they are. And we always try to make the ears little and tiny, even though they are huge. Like if you look at the ears, you'll see. And listen, I know I have big ears, but my ear comes from here down to here. It lines up with my eyebrow and it comes down to my, our ears. So it's kind of knowing generally where things are and then getting that each one. And this thing with the eyes is very true. If you look around at people's eyes, you will really see a significant difference of what's happening here. Billy, do you have Eastern European roots?
Scandinavian.
That's so interesting. I always think of this deep ridge as this deep, line as a Eastern European thing. But I guess there's some mixing.
German and Scandinavian. Yeah.
Yeah, German and Scandinavian. It's kind of a distinct, like a lot more people have like eyes that are kind of like up, I believe your daughters have, at least, I don't know. I don't really know your oldest one, but I'm pretty sure Emma has like these big blue eyes, right? That are like.
Here, she'll show you.
Hi, Emma. Yeah. Wait. Actually, pop your head up. I want to see.
Here.
Okay, take your glasses off. Do you guys have the same? Oh, yeah, she has entirely different. Is that your dad's?
Yeah, she's like her dad.
She's like her dad that way.
Beth is more like me.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope, Billy, that this didn't I hope for all of you guys that you aren't like totally discouraged. I actually think you've all done great. It's just hard,
I'm not
right?
discouraged.
It's like, yeah, it's a lot of, and for some reason this one was a bear, and I can't really tell you why. It must be the fact that she's not just tilting her head and moving it this way. She's like she's pushing it in a direction that's not like really, she's sort of pushing it. Oh, that's what it is. She's pushing it towards us. So she's not only tilting and turning, she's pushing. And that creates this really weird foreshortening. Let's hold up our pieces to see where they're at. Hold them up. Actually, that's great. These are great, you guys. These are really good. We're in good shape. Melissa, is that just the light hitting? That's not like a screensaver. That's just the light hitting your room, right?
I need to, hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Getting there. All right. Actually, these aren't bad at all, right? After all that struggle, hold it up. Oh yeah, Melissa, there you go. There you go. That shift really made a difference. So we're getting there, right? We're getting to likeness. So next week, if you can hold off on these, finishing these, let's work on these another week. Right. Then I was thinking that we might spend one session practicing hands. Would anybody be up for that?
Yes.
Yes, because what's that?
Never done it.
Billy's like, God damn it. You know, I told me that you're like, this is supposed to be a face drawing workshop. I finally got in here and now I must mucking with you.
I'm game.
All right. What I was actually thinking was that we might try this fellow. Hold on. See if I can call him up here. I was thinking that we might try a face and hands that will take probably 3 sessions. So I thought it would be fun, just, well, fun, kind of torturous, but in a good way. Here. Come on, let me pull this up. Melissa, I'm looking for the ones, I'm looking for our thread from this morning.
I sent it over email. Not email, I sent it over text.
You sent it over text. I'll actually, I'll send it across the thread here. I'll send it across the thread. I can't find this on my, it's not a messenger. But I was thinking that it would be interesting to try this one, which has hands and.
Put it up there, Leah.
Did you put it up there? You want to put it up?
It's up.
This one. So I asked Melissa for a beard. She gave me a beard, but also hands. And I thought this is is this too, Addie, is this too risque for you? Tell me the truth. All right. I don't think so. It's just a dude with like up, kind of up to here. So my thought was we might try this one because it forces us to practice. It forces us, hey, there's all your stuff right there. It forces us to practice hands, kind of shoulders, and then also a face with a beard. Does that like make you guys see cross-eyed, or Mariana's like, I don't want to.
I love it.
I do want it totally,
Okay.
but I don't know if I could make it.
As long as you walk me through it.
I can walk you guys through it. So we will spend next week finishing this. So don't worry, we're going to spend another 2 hours on this drawing before we get it to the place that it needs to get to. And I commend all of you because man, oh man, it was a bear. It was a real bear. So really great work today, you guys. Billy, I'm so happy you're here.